Tonight on TNT, it's the catchphrase no team wants to hear. Embarrassed by a hounding foe, the Hawks now find themselves one game away from elimination. To survive, Atlanta must play with a sense of urgency.
We have to be able to take a punch and come back. It's never over till it's over.
While Dwight Howard and the Magic's plan of attack is simple, don't change a thing. Shot for shot, point for point, the Jazz tried to hold serve against the formidable Lakers, but champions know how to finish.
The defending champions have pushed the Jazz to the brink of elimination.
Now, with season's end in the foreground, the Jazz must be the aggressor and shift the momentum.
We got our backs to the wall. We had our backs to the wall, play these guys to begin with.
The drama of the NBA playoffs continues on TNT.
Without fanfare, the Orlando Magic have won 7 consecutive playoff games this postseason. Throughout, they have embraced the true meaning of team. Tonight, should they dispose of the Atlanta Hawks, the Magic will move on to the NBA Eastern Conference Final for the 2nd consecutive season. It's Game 4, an elimination game between the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks. It's time for the Taco Bell starting lineups. Orlando hasn't lost in over a month. The Magic have won 13 straight games. For Atlanta, Joe Johnson is shooting just 28% in this series. Hi, everyone. Matt Devin alongside the Hall of Famer Kevin McHale. Kevin, Orlando has been simply brilliant in this postseason, and they have been dominant throughout.
Yeah, they sure have, using the same formula every single game. A lot of pick and roll, going to drop the ball down to Howard, and they're going to shoot around 30 to 33s on the offensive end. On the defensive end, they're going to load the paint. The perimeter players are going to push up and drive you into the Defensive Player of the Year, Howard's extended hand. For the Hawks to solve that puzzle, they've got to increase the pace. They've got to be able to get the ball up and down the floor and move it from side to side and attack the paint with a purpose. Orlando's dominated the paint so far in the series.
Well, they certainly have. Does Joe Johnson have an all-NBA type of game in him after struggling in Game 4 on Saturday? Can Al Horford slow down Dwight Howard? Mike Woodson's contract runs out in the end of June. Is this his final game as a head coach of the Atlanta Hawks? And over the last 2 games, Jamal Crawford has come off of the bench, and he has been their one offensive weapon, and still they are down 3-0 in this series. Game 4 underway. Orlando playing for the sweep. In talking to Jameer Nelson prior to the start of this contest, he said, look, first quarter, we got to get it going in the first quarter.
No question, the first 5 minutes of the first quarter right here. The Hawks have got to show a lot of want to right now. They have not had that desire to go out there and just compete and like stand shoulder to shoulder and swing at the Orlando Magic. You see Josh Smith getting up the court late, got hit in the head.
Josh Smith still late getting up. It's knocked away. And Rashard Lewis hands it quickly off to Nelson.
The presence of Dwight Howard on the defensive end as you see Jameer go in and use the glass beautifully. A high floating layup. But on that first Hawks possession, they did exactly what we talked about. Joe Johnson drove into the teeth of the defense, and who's waiting for him? Dwight Howard.
He's really altered everything. And Joe Johnson just has struggled. 28%, and now an offensive foul on Al Horford. And this is going back to Josh Smith, one of the reasons why he didn't get back up the floor.
Yeah, took a hand from Dwight Howard in the face, and he was late getting down the floor. And Josh Smith has got to have a great energy night tonight. Shake off that little punch in the face and go out there and play basketball.
They lost Game 3 at home, 105-75. Rashard Lewis, last 2 games, he's been on fire. He continues it tonight.
Tough cover for Josh Smith, who's much more of a paint cover, wants the rebound, block shots, and Rashard Lewis has been just shooting lights out the entire playoffs.
Has now 8 made threes starting in Game 2. There's Horford with the jumper, that's good. Lewis over the last 2 averaging 21 points. Nelson, jumper, got it. He has been so tough throughout.
Yeah, and one of the reasons they're up 3-0 also, what a tough cover for Mike Bibby on Jameer Nelson. There's some tough covers out there for the Atlanta Hawks as you see Mike Woodson takes a 22nd timeout.
7-2 start for the Orlando Magic. They swept the Charlotte Bobcats, looking for a sweep here. Josh Smith still checking on that right eye. 5-point lead here early on. Josh Smith appears to be fine. Wonder if he saw Steve Nash last night, the one-eyed warrior. He was something else last night for Phoenix.
I tell you, unbelievable. He's had some tough luck, as you see Barnes, who's been playing great defense the entire time they get the ball. What great defense he's been playing on Joe Johnson. Matt Barnes has been fighting him tooth and nail the whole series. But getting back to Steve Nash really quick, remember he bloodied his nose and got mangled against him. He did the eye. He looked like a hockey player from Canada last night, not a basketball player.
He certainly did. Captain Canada, 7-2. Orlando off to that quick start. Barnes on the trigger in. Here's Lewis backing down on Smith, kicks it out up top. 3 turnovers for Atlanta in 4 possessions to start the game. Not the start that they're looking for. Carter. And the shot is short. Bibby quickly ahead. Marvin Williams absent really throughout game 4. And in this series pulls up and knocks it down. He had 6 points, 2 rebounds in game number 3.
They need Marvin to show up and show up big tonight at home if the Hawks want to extend this series.
Averaging less than 8 points and less than 6 rebounds in the series. Here's Carter posting up on Bibby, and now Johnson kicks it out.
On that little screen roll, they run. You'll see the Magic run a lot of Nelson Carter screen roll. They switched that and they put Bibby on Carter. And Carter's just way too big. He's going to go down the post. That's a tough switch. Like I said, this is a tough series for Mike Bibby all the way around the block, starting with the guy with the ball who's been giving him a lot of trouble, Jameer Nelson.
Well, you just talk about the matchup. Sometimes you look at Al Horford and Dwight Howard. There's Carter in the 3.
Beautiful ball movement by the Orlando Magic. We've seen that the entire series. They really make the extra pass, and they do it so willingly and so unselfishly.
Played just 23 minutes in game 3. Didn't need him to run any more minutes than that. And that one knocked out of bounds.
Here you go right now. They got a little pick and roll. He gets picked out on there, and another pass out. Bibby's in no man's land. They can't rotate. Great ball movement and wide open 3.
Taking care of some business on the court. Bill Spooner heading over. Bennett Salvatore, Derek Stafford, Bill Spooner are 3 officials. And it appears as though they have everything taken care of there deep in that corner as Joe Johnson gets set to inbound the basketball.
Joe Johnson is seeing a lot of Matt Barnes, Michael Petras, and then when he finally does make a move, he's seen the extended arm of Dwight Howard on every possession. He can't get a clean look.
Horford on a handoff to Johnson. Barnes right there with him. Shot clock down, extended hand, and it doesn't matter. Johnson comes through with the 3.
That's a big shot for him to make that early in the game. He needs to get some confidence going. He's got to find some rhythm out here because, like I said, Barnes has really had him on lockdown.
Missed 12 of 15 on Saturday. Barnes shot no. Howard unable to rebound it, and it'll be Orlando basketball. Last touch by Bibby. It's been a frustrating series for Joe Johnson. Game 1, game 2, and then you see the numbers from game 3.
When you're shooting 28% from the field, which he is in this series, I mean, that is really, really tough sledding, boy. You can't get anything to go. And like I said, it's an attempt over. Great defense there, jump ball. But it's an attempt over Dwight Howard's hand almost on every shot. Here you go, the Hawks now, they rally to the ball. Joe gets there in time. You see Josh Smith gets a hand in there. And that's what they got to do. You got to rally to the ball. You got to rally to drives. You got to have 2 people on the ball. And you just got to keep working if you're the Atlanta Hawks on the defensive end.
Controlled by Carter and the Magic. Nelson up top. Bibby checking over that shoulder. Trying to feel that screen. Pick and roll, Howard. Deep post position. And right over his childhood friend, Josh Smith. Deep in the post. You can't stop him.
He gets the ball right around the charge circle all the time, and he's shooting it left-hand and right-handed, and he made that little lefty down there. Smith
knocks down the 2. Atlanta 4 of 4, yet they have 3 turnovers that have led to 5 points for the Orlando Magic. Nelson thinks about it, decides to take it, and he makes it.
You do not want to leave maybe the hottest shooting player in the first 2 rounds wide open out there. That's a complete breakdown on the defensive end by the Hawks.
In the postseason, shooting 50%, 54% in the series, settling for another jump shot. Just intimidated by that presence of Dwight Howard on the inside. Nelson gets it back, loses it, and it'll be Atlanta basketball as they trail by 5 here.
The old give and go, Dwight Howard tried a little bounce pass, and Nelson couldn't quite catch it.
Williams out of the wing, sends it up top, Horford. Smith now trying to post up Lewis. Kicks it to Bibby. Shot doesn't go. That's where he can be good. He has really struggled in this series. Mike Bibby, a total of 12 points in the first 3 games. Carter, double comes to him. Barnes, Lewis quickly in the corner. Nelson. And a 3-second violation and a turnover. 6:45 remaining here in this first quarter. Jamal Crawford's going to check in as Josh Smith still bothered by that right eye. Bibby gives it to Horford. Shot clock under 10. Johnson rises up over Barnes and it pops out. Nelson gets by Johnson and a foul on the floor. Prior to the start of the game, Mike Woodson addressing his team.
Hey, take a deep breath and just relax. That's all you got to do. And play hard for 48 minutes. All right? This is our building. We've been great in this building all year. Let's go out and prove that we can win a game tonight.
34-7 during the regular season. But they trail by 7 right now here in the opening minutes of Game 4. Can they send it to a Game 5? Bibby.
One of the ways they will get to Game 5 is Mike Bibby's gonna have to make some shots. Right now, I kind of like it. They got more playmakers. They got Jamal playing along with Bibby. They still got Joe Johnson on the floor, so they have more playmakers out there for the Hawks right now. Speaking of playmaking, how about that? Again, we talked about the willingness to pass, and Matt Barnes making a beautiful pass, and Dwight Howard with the flush.
And a timeout. Timeout taken. Orlando 8 of 10. What a start. Led by Jameer Nelson, 4 of 4. Here's that passing you talked about. Barnes dropping a dime. Dwight Howard. Josh Smith headed back to the locker room for the Atlanta Hawks.
Now time for Gatorade Around the Cooler. Hello everyone, I'm Cheryl Miller. Well, all the players for the Hawks said after Game 3 it was absolutely embarrassing, and you know what? Their fans agreed. They booed them during the game and after, but somehow that did not set well with Joe Johnson, who said after the game he could care less if the fans showed up or not. Well, yesterday he backed off from his statements and said sometimes you say things when you're upset, but Kevin, as you mentioned earlier, he said that his frustration right now is that the shots that normally fall haven't been falling. He said give the Magic a lot of credit defensively. He has to make sure he's staying aggressive, guys.
I appreciate it, Cheryl, and talking to Mike Woodson. That was one of the key things he said in talking about Joe Johnson prior to the game. Hey, just relax. He's getting those shots. He's just got to make them.
Yeah, but what really relaxes you is getting in the paint, getting some free throws and stuff, and they're not anywhere near the paint. It's all jump shots. Dwight Howard's got that paint on lockdown right now for Orlando.
They are not taking it to him at all. Carter squares up. The 3 is good with the clock down. 10-point advantage. Vince Carter has never made it to a conference final. Their key addition during the offseason for the Orlando Magic. Joe Johnson now attacking, and a foul. That's what you were just talking about, Kevin.
No, I love it. You know, he saw the opening and he attacked. And this is what Joe's got to do. He's got a little edge on him. Go up there, get fouled, get to the line. You see Dwight coming over late, but get in there and force the action. Nothing relaxes you more than a couple of free throws. When you're a scorer, free throws just, you get up to the line, you hopefully knock him down as he misses his first free throw. But you stand up there, you relax, you're getting some points, and you're feeling comfortable as you see Josh Smith getting back to the arena. But it's very relaxing for a scorer to get to the line, and Joe Johnson's got to attack the paint more. That's their first shot in the paint.
Well, in the first 4 games of the postseason, Joe Johnson averaged 26 points a game, and since that time, over the last 6, averaging 13, and you see the jumpers to the drives. Barnes gives it underneath Howard, and a foul. Zaza Pachulia along with Mo Evans on the floor for Mike Woodson. And the foul's going to be on Zaza Pachulia.
You got Howard working hard. He had set up position. He got Pachulia out in front of him. He locked him in there. He is so strong. He holds him off. And Pachulia did the right thing. You just got to hammer him at that point. What do you think? You know, if I told you that you had Dwight Howard shooting 81%, would it be from the field or from the line?
Well, you know what? With his history, I think you'd say the field.
You'd be right. Okay, he might be the only guy you'd say that.
Absolutely.
He's shooting 81%, almost 82% from the field in this series.
22 of 27. 27 of 46 from the free throw line, 59% from the free throw line. He has 3 straight double-doubles in this series, averaging 23.7 points, 15 rebounds, Kevin, in the series. And against Charlotte, he did not have 1 double-double.
Yeah, no question. He was very frustrated in that Charlotte series. He's relaxing now and playing very well as you get another long shot by Crawford. And Pachulia is working on the board to get him an extra possession.
Certainly one of the key factors throughout this series, getting to the glass.
Yeah, the Hawks are getting out rebounded by an average of about 10 rebounds a game. And, you know, the Hawks are a very good rebounding team. But again, it just goes to show how in tune and how well the Magic are playing.
Absolutely. Mo Evans, corner 3. Orlando Magic won the first 3 games by a total of 87 points. 87 points. Wow. The series record through the first 3 games is 95. Three-pointer comes up short back in 85, the Lakers in San Antonio. And this first quarter is so critical for the Atlanta Hawks. Down 8 with 3:15 remaining in the opening quarter. Crawford wanted a call, doesn't get it. Nelson sends it to Carter. Double comes to Carter. The cut by Barnes. The spin move and the finish.
Well, if you're not shooting threes with the extra pass, they're making cutting moves. They're finding cutters in there. A great weak side cut by Matt Barnes and ending up in a layup and a nice find, nice passing by Orlando again.
Points in the paint, 10 for Orlando. Atlanta 0. Under 3 minutes of play here in the first quarter. Al Horford, short corner Jay, counted.
Well, Coach Woodson said, Matt, that they've got to find a way to score. Their energy will come up if the ball goes in the hole. He said part of their problem they've had is they've been so poor offensively. They've lost all their energy on the defensive end. You see right now, you make a couple hoops, your defensive energy picks up.
25-17, 2:20 to go in the first quarter.
There's 2 on the ball. That means 3 have got to guard 4. And Matt Barnes does a great job of making that weak side cut. Great find by Carter. Nice little spinning, whirling dervish by Matt.
Going into this series, Kevin, these are some of the key factors you thought had to happen.
Magic versus Hawks, first key factor, ball movement. Orlando's had it, plus 23 in assists. Talked about Jamal Crawford and Joe Johnson having to get their averages. Hasn't happened. And rebounding, plus 29 for Orlando, dominating the boards. The state of Dwight. Worried about Dwight? no longer playing great in the series versus the Hawks.
No worries there. There's Dwight Howard's mother, Cheryl Howard. Of course, he's from Atlanta, Georgia. Grew up about 10-15 minutes from downtown Atlanta. And so this kind of like a home game for him here in the postseason.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of Atlanta fans. They said, we really want to dislike Dwight, but we can't. He's from here. So he said a lot of mixed emotions when Dwight comes back.
And Josh Smith, of course, they played AAU basketball together, also from Atlanta. He's still out. Went to different high schools. Barnes on the inside, flips it up and through. He's been effective. You think about him from the outside, but putting it to the deck and going to the hole, Kevin.
Oh, a nice little dribble handoff there by Jameer Nelson. Great pass, and again, Matt Barnes makes a great cut, gets in behind the defense, and gets an easy layup.
Zaza Pachulia jumper.
Pachulia and Hartford are going to have those free throw line shots steady because we talked about loading to the ball defensively like Orlando likes to do. And Dwight's basically playing center field defensively. He's guarding everybody, just locking down the paint.
Lewis rises up and drills the three. Rashard Lewis from deep. Lewis 2 of 2, 6 points. Last 2 games averaging 21 points, 7 of 15 from deep. Now 9 of 17 and a turnover. Out of the run, Barnes. 32-19.
Another nice play by Jameer Nelson, rewarding Barnes, who's really known for his defense, but Barnes is starting out right now. I think he's got 8 points, and they're really playing well on the offensive end.
Crawford up top, pulls up from the elbow. His first bucket of the game. Under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Orlando 13 of 16, Kevin. Nelson, shot doesn't go that time. Pachulia. Evans, shot no. Barnes, Nelson lays it up and in.
Boy, they had a 5-on-4. They end up with a contested, actually it was a 5-on-3. Dwight got back late too for the Hawks. They end up with a contested jump shot from the free throw line, and then Jameer Nelson ends up cherry picking a little bit, getting back late, and gets a layup. And boy, those plays absolutely kill you when you're at home. Momentum killers.
Mo Evans. Jameer Nelson setting the tone once again in this opening quarter. 10 points, 5 assists. He's had a pair of 32-point games in the playoffs. Nelson, guarded by Johnson. Here's Lewis, no. 34-23, Orlando looking for the sweep. In Atlanta, Joe Johnson just trying to desperately hang on and force one more game, Kevin.
I agree, and you got the Orlando Magic starting off shooting 74% from the field. Doesn't look good for the Atlanta Hawks.
That's a big number.
Welcome back. It's time for the Coach's Corner. I'm with Coach Van Gundy. And Coach Van Gundy, you told me yesterday that when you were looking back at the game film, that you thought you were late defensively, pick and rolls, double teams, and help. What did you see this quarter?
Well, they're shooting the ball very well. They don't have anything in the paint. It's all jump shots, and they're knocking them down. So we've got to do a little better job getting out on them, but they're shooting the ball very, very well, Cheryl.
With them shooting well, what are they doing, or what aren't you doing?
You know, I mean, I don't think we're playing that badly. They're not breaking us down. They're making a lot of shots right now.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.
They are making shots, 59%, 10 of 17. However, the other team, the Orlando Magic, 74%. They're taking jumpers. Shot doesn't go. Pachulia comes down with it in a foul. They have 0 points in the paint, Atlanta right now. 16 for Orlando, and you go back to that first quarter, Kevin, 10 assists on 14 made field goals for the Magic.
All the numbers on the Magic side offensively look good, but you know, the numbers for Atlanta don't look that bad offensively either. Just too many jump shots, and you very seldom, as Jamal Crawford lines up another jump shot, and Pachulia runs it down. but you very seldom see Stan Van Gundy look comfortable in the game. That's about as comfortable. There's a nice attack to the rim by Josh Smith. But you very seldom see Stan Van Gundy comfortable during the game. He looked very comfortable in that interview, saying, you know what, they're getting nothing in the paint. He knows his team, and he knows if they're defending the paint, they got a good chance.
Jason Williams on the floor with Michael Peaches, J.J. Redick. Redick on the drive. Lewis deep in the corner. Here's Planet Petrus, and the shot doesn't go. 9-point game. Joe Johnson. Josh Smith attacking, and a foul. And so Josh Smith coming out in an aggressive mood here in the start of the second quarter. And you look at the temperature, and it is blazing right now. Lewis just picked up his second. That's a concern. He's been rolling offensively. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists.
And you saw the most impressive statistic at all for me, of those very impressive statistics for Orlando, were the 10 assists in the first quarter. That is really a high number.
Josh Smith, 7 of 11 in the series from the free throw line, and you see his numbers. The thing that stands out to me is that 1 block, and because Lewis is the guy that he's going to see, he just can't roam around the paint.
Hard to get block shots when you're standing at the three-point line watching Rashard Lewis drain 3 after 3 after 3. He's out of the play on the defensive end. He's all spread out.
3rd in the NBA during the regular season in block shots, at better than 2 a game. Williams looking on the inside. And a kick ball by Crawford. They'll reset the shot clock to 14. 8-point game here. 10:40 remaining in the first half. Evans with Smith, Johnson, Crawford, and Jason Williams lost a shoe. Scoops it up now. Throws it off to the side. Ryan Anderson. And a 3-second violation, and that's going to get Jason Williams an opportunity to get that shoe back on. Offensive 3-second violation. You ever lose a shoe?
Yes, and I was hoping that they swung it over to him and Hobie made a jump shot with 1 shoe.
Let's take a look at the Lincoln driving force. Matt Barnes, Kevin, has been a key factor defensively, just smothering Joe Johnson.
Getting a hand up on every shot, really driving him into the piles, not letting him get comfortable. You'll see he start using his hands here, gets a steal. Joe's very uncomfortable because Matt's pushing up on him. And then when Matt comes out of the game, they put Planet Petrus on him, and there's no rest for Joe Johnson. And he's got people in his grill the whole night.
Matt Barnes, 3 of 4, 6 points, couple of rebounds, and he is edgy. He provides that edge that they need, and
that's why they got him here.
Yes.
for the Joe Johnsons, the Kobe Bryants, the big scorers. He's not afraid to go out there and mix it up with them.
Was in Phoenix prior to that, Golden State. 7 teams, and he signed a 2-year deal. Joe Johnson driving. Shot doesn't go. Howard comes down with it. Much more in attack mode here in the second quarter for the Hawks.
Yeah, it really started with Josh Smith coming in after he got his eye fixed. He started attacking the rim and getting fouled a little bit. But if you watch that, Joe Johnson was looking for Dwight Howard that entire drive. You got to look at the rim when you're driving if you're Joe Johnson. If he blocks your shot, he blocks your shot. Good swing over to Petrus in the corner. And again, Air France is off and flying.
Michael Petrus. Petrus in the series, 54% from 3-point range. That's coming off of the bench. And the thing about Orlando, it's not 1 or 2 guys that you need to look to cut down along that 3-point arc. You got 7 different guys. Howard running the floor, gets tied up.
We talked about Orlando loading up on the defensive end, and watch this. He drives in. Look how many people are attacking him. You stop that right now. I mean, look at, you've got everybody and their uncle over there attacking him, and Joe Johnson's looking at Dwight Howard as he's shooting it. You've got to make a play there if you're Joe Johnson. You've got to get it into the paint and then pass it out.
The NBA playoffs continue on TNT. Game 4, Lakers and Utah. Lakers are looking to claim their 3rd straight Western Conference Finals appearance. And Utah, of course, trying to avoid elimination. NBA playoffs on TNT. Win or go home.
Just a slew of big shots taken and made in that Utah-LA series that last 5-6 minutes by both teams. It was really a great game. Coming down the wire, and the Lakers held on and are up 3-0.
3-0 by a total of 14 points.
Yeah, you know that Jerry Sloan's teams are going to come out there and they're going to punch you in the nose and fight you hard.
Josh Smith, guarded by Anderson. Smith driving, in trouble, sends it out. In the corner, there's a three. Shot doesn't go. Horford, offensive rebound, and Howard got a piece of it. Out in transition, and a turnover.
Very, very rare turnover for Orlando. And here you go again. Josh gets in the paint, spits it out, wide open shot by Mo Evans, misses it, and on the ensuing offensive rebound, Dwight Howard got a great block on Al Horford.
Smith comes up empty. Howard has it knocked away, and he touches it last, and it'll be Atlanta basketball.
Here you go again. And Dwight's over there. There's just a lot of bodies around, and Dwight's always around the ball when it's in that paint. He is really a force on that defensive end.
Smith, air ball. After all that attacking, and all of a sudden maybe you change your mind a little bit.
You got to keep attacking. I know Dwight's in there, and I know he's a force, but you just can't settle for the amount of jump shots. Go in there and attack him. If he blocks your shot, so what? Or if you get him over there, you get him early, make the play, but don't just settle for jump shots if you're the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta 1 of 9 in the quarter. Jason Williams too strong with the three on the weak side. Joe Johnson. Johnson 1 of 4. Crossover in the lane, cut off. Howard comes out on the drive. Crawford, weak side, put back, no. Howard using that quickness, able to get back. Spin move, Josh Smith using the offhand.
I like that matchup for Atlanta. You got Josh Smith against Anderson. Wear that thing out. You know, make Howard come over, then spit the ball out if you get double teamed, and you'll get some open shots. But I do like the fact that they're going to Josh on that box against Anderson.
J.J. Redick finds Petrus. Petrus, another three.
Air France not grounded again tonight. He's been shooting the ball so well. It's amazing. I mean, he's just knocking down threes left and right.
There's 6 of 12 are the Magic. Here in the first half, Joe Johnson, a fading jumper that's good.
Yeah, Petrus got a hand up. A nice little pin down move by Horford, and Joe came out and got a jump shot that he takes quite often off the pin down. As Petrus lines up another three, and wow, Air France. They're hoping that big cloud from Iceland gets up there and it grounds Air France, because right now he is rolling.
3 of 4 from deep. Petrus with 9 points off the bench. Under 10 of the clock, and Petrus doing it at both ends. Now ties up Johnson, and a foul is called. You look at that three-point shooting, and that's 7 players that have made 75 or more. You include Matt Barnes. 8 players have made 66 threes or more during the course of the regular season, and it just continued, Kevin, in the postseason.
I agree. Nice little rub cut there. They got Joe Johnson the ball against J.J. Redick down low, and he got a dunk. But I agree. The thing that's unique about Orlando, they have so many players that can shoot the three, Matt, that if 1 or 2 guys go through a tough period, you know, shooting the threes in a series or a game or two, it doesn't really matter. They just come in with another guy, and they find someone who's hot from the three-point line.
Shot clock at 5. And a foul. And the foul's going to be charged to Al Horford. And that's going to be his second in this 12-point game with 6:13 remaining in the first half.
Al Horford is just a scrapper. I admire him so much. He's given up so much size and strength, and he's really a power forward playing center. But I tell you what, he's got a big heart. He may not be all that big as a center in this league, but he's got a heart that doesn't stop.
Comes out, Petrus, the three, no. Anderson hustling to save it. And he turns it over. Horford came flying out at Petrus, who went sideways in the three.
You know you're hot when you're pump faking. You have a straight line drive for a layup, and you step sideways and you shoot a three. Air France, I don't know, you might got carried away on that one there.
Howard has stayed out of foul trouble for Orlando. Josh Smith driving, and Anderson, they're going to count it. Goaltending. 5:52 to go in the first half, and the Orlando Magic with 13 assists already, Kevin.
Unbelievable. The ball movement has been great by Orlando Magic. They've been passing it. Everybody's sharing it. They've been getting open threes. They've been getting drives. They've been getting dunks. So their assists have been all kinds of different assists. And when you can hit those corner guys for those three-point shots, maybe the highest percentage three-point shot in the league is that corner three, and Orlando uses it beautifully.
Petrus and Lewis in the playoffs, including tonight.
You're happy if that's your two-point field goal percentage, much less three-point field goal percentage. I mean, it's unreal. They are really shooting the ball beautifully, and Air France is lining it up and knocking it down. They just have so much confidence, but the ball movement's so crisp. I mean, it's just that hard drive to the middle, suck someone in, get it out to the corners, and that corner three is like I said earlier, it's the highest percentage shot outside of a free throw or a layup in the league, and they take advantage of that. And Orlando creates a ton of corner threes, and that's what you're trying to do in your offense. You're trying to really create a lot of corner threes.
One of the things, when you look around the NBA, a lot of teams have stats people that are breaking down all the sort of statistical analysis, where to get shots, when to get shots. And the three things that you just mentioned, it's almost a blueprint for the Orlando Magic. They got that big guy in the middle that can get dunks and layups, and then you're going to get to the free throw line, and then you're going to shoot threes. Here's Johnson. The three doesn't go. Gortat on the floor. Nelson, Petrus, Carter, and Lewis.
Yeah, no question, Matt. I think as you see, Carter lines up another three. Horford's a good rebound, but you're right. I mean, as a defense, and San Antonio won championship with this philosophy. They said, we want you to shoot non-paint twos. So basically, all the two-pointers you want, not inside the paint. Run them off the three-point line and don't give them anything in the paint. And that's the shot that, and really Orlando lives with that model. They don't take a lot of non-paint twos. They get in there to see Horford misses a shot. But they get in there in the paint to throw it out, to take threes. They get to the line quite a bit, and that's why they're so effective.
But one of the things San Antonio as well as Orlando have that other teams don't, you have the presence of either Dwight Howard or Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
Yeah, I agree.
Carter, and he gets the roll. 8 points for Carter, 46-35, but that's been a big discussion throughout the league about, that long-range two. And a lot of people just don't feel that it's worth taking it. Everybody says, where did it go? Well, from a statistical analysis standpoint, they say, hey, step outside and take a three. As Horford finishes at the rim and he gets fouled and he'll go to the line. And when you look at this right here, wow, that's something else right there.
You get 7 guys that made over 75 threes throughout the regular season for the Orlando Magic. That's what I said makes them unique. They can have a guy. Vince Carter can have a tough go from the three-point line, which he did in the first round. It doesn't make any difference. Petrus comes in and shoots them well. Lewis makes them. J.J. Redick comes in. Jay Williams. The list goes on and on. And that's what makes the Orlando Magic, a really tough team. And we talked about this before, Matt. They're going to be a tough out. Someone's going to have to play excellent basketball to beat this team 4 times.
Can they sweep Atlanta? Atlanta trying to put together a second quarter here. They've cut it now to 8. And a foul, Marvin Williams.
And now if you're Coach Woodson, you're saying they finally rested Dwight, thank goodness. Let's attack the rim. Let's get to the paint. Let's really try to get this 8-point lead. Let's get this thing down as Petrus lines up another three and misses it. But let's get this lead down. Let's get some momentum going into halftime with Dwight sitting on the bench.
7-16 now from downtown. Crawford. And a foul. So Jamal Crawford putting it on the deck with no Dwight Howard, as you mentioned. And he's going to find himself at the free throw line. National coverage of the NBA playoffs continues. ESPN Thursday, Game 6, Cleveland at Boston with the series tied up at 2, and then ABC Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern to Boston at Cleveland, Game 7 if necessary, or the Eastern Conference Finals.
Nice to see the Hawks take advantage of Howard being on the bench and really driving that in there. And Jamal Crawford understanding that, hey, if we're going to extend this series, we don't want to lose on our home court. We got booed in Game 3. Let's go out there and let's give our fans something to cheer about. You know, the Hawks are fighting their way back, and they're playing against the Orlando team that's really hitting on all cylinders.
Up by 14, now it's 6. Carter has it spill out right underneath the rim. Crawford off the bounce, driving, no, Gortat with a rebound. Nelson quickly into the front court. Nelson, Petrus in the corner. On a switch, Joe Johnson now on Nelson. Shot clock down to 5. Finds Gortat, rolling to the rim and the layup.
Classic Orlando basketball right there. Pick and roll, hard roll by the big guy, whether it's Gortat, whether it's Howard, and a nice find by Jameer Nelson for the layup. I mean, that's just classic Orlando Magic basketball.
Josh Smith, no. On the weak side, Carter with the rebound. Nelson looks ahead, Gortat running, and a foul. 15 assists already.
And another great play. He just slips it, comes in hard, and Gortat does what he's supposed to do. Go to the front of the rim, receive the ball, and finish strong.
40 right now, the Orlando Magic with the lead, and they can move the ball.
They sure do. They get, you know, every one of their, over half their baskets are an assist. And conversely, you'll see Atlanta, look, he's driving into 3 guys. I mean, he's fighting in there, doesn't get the ball up to the basket. On the other hand, swing, pass, jump, drive, dunk. It's just good out. Now, all of a sudden, you see the ISO right here. Doesn't even get a shot up. All the people are around there. And again, tonight, you can see tonight the assists for Orlando have been, the ball movement's been great. You got Lewis lining up a three-pointer, making it nice drive and kick. Another Lewis three-pointer, getting those corner threes, what you want. Beautiful pass by Matt Barnes, finishing up with the Dwight Howard dunk.
Adding up to 15 assists tonight, and Marcin Gortat at the free throw line. Vince Carter, Dwight Howard back out on the floor with Petrus and Jameer Nelson. This is a team that is 7 of 16 from three-point range. They're 12 of 14 from two-point range, and majority of that right there deep in the paint. They have 18 points in the paint.
And I tell you what, Coach Van Gundy didn't like seeing Josh Smith post up the little guys. He's gotten big, got twin towers now with Gortat and Howard, and put a little bigger guy on Josh Smith to take away that advantage they had in the low box. They got Gortat guarding Smith now.
Horford backing down on Howard. The double comes, and a foul's going to be charged to Howard. And that is his first. Let's send it across town into Ernie Johnson. EJ?
All right, Matt, coming up in just a few minutes, we'll bring you the T-Mobile halftime report with first half analysis from Kenny, Charles, and C. Webb. Later tonight, Game 4 in the Lakers-Jazz series with L.A. thinking sweep. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, and Craig Sager have it covered. And remember to check out NBA.com for all the latest playoff news and features and videos, such as the mind-numbing Barclays Zone. Back to Phillips Arena, Matt.
The Barclays Zone.
Hey, Chuck picked the Suns to beat the Spurs, and no one else did. I know I didn't. It just goes to show, do not go against Chuck. Chuck knows what he's doing. Way to go, Charles.
I mean, you are just laying it out there for Charles, huh?
Oh, I'm a big Charles fan, especially when he dresses like Stan Van Gundy, and they do that mixed match. Stan Van Gundy, Charles Barkley picture. That still makes me laugh.
Howard climbs up, grabs it, and then the two-handed slam.
That was a bad pass by Jameer Nelson. It's just that Dwight can jump so high. He went up and got it. That was an amazing catch by Dwight Howard. Then he gathered himself one up and dunked it. But you know what? I could actually get more assists. As bad as I passed, I could throw a pass that bad and he could catch it.
High-low action?
Yeah, just throw it up there. Just throw it up anywhere around the board. He goes and gets it.
Howard 9 points, a pair of rebounds. 1:45 remaining here in the first half. Stagnant right now. Johnson, Smith, shot clock down, deflected. Marvin Williams trying to go on the inside, air ball, weak side, and a foul. Bailed out with 1 tick remaining on the shot clock.
He comes off and you see the lob here. He throws it way up there and he goes up and gets it behind his back. Pump fakes and goes up and slams it. And just a great catch by Dwight Howard, who is just an unbelievable athlete.
Joe Johnson at the line, first one good. It's a new season and a new reason to get more leverage. The Leverage 2-hour season premiere event is Sunday, June 20th at 9/8 Central, only on TNT. And Johnson with 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. No team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the NBA in a best-of-7 series.
And I like this Orlando lineup. I like seeing Gortat and Howard out there together. You know, the twin towers, 2 big bodies, and well, I tell you, there won't be much room in the paint with those 2 out there on the defensive end. They're gonna attack a lot of shots and block shots and really clog up the paint.
Showing a different look. Howard trying to make a quick move, and it's knocked out by Pachulia. 9 seconds remaining on the shot clock. With a 1:15 to go. Orlando trying to return to the Eastern Conference Finals. Consecutive years they did that back in the mid-90s with Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal. Nelson fading. Jameer Nelson, a dozen now.
Great defense by Williams, but just a better shot by Jameer. That fading away step back shot, but no defense for that.
Nelson 6 of 8. The team 66%. Smith finds Crawford. Shot clock down to 3. Crawford. Pachulia. Shot clock at 1. Got it off in time.
Great running left-handed layup by Pachulia. Really worked that clock right down to the last possible second, but he attacked the hole and got it up over the big fellas.
Nelson driving at Marvin Williams, and a travel is going to be called.
Here you go, the clock winding down. He goes up, gets a left-hander up over Dwight, and says, take some of that with you, big twin towers.
He just chucked it up there.
No, he's worked on that shot. You can tell, that's all by design. I'm telling you what, he worked on that. And that dunk when he goes in.
Special.
No, that's when he goes in with the Polish hammer. If you take away that, he does a left-handed layup.
Marvin Williams cut off by Carter. The help comes with Howard. 5 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Nelson loses control. Smith to Johnson. First half comes to a close. 53-45 Orlando.
And the paint is on lockdown by that guy right there. Dwight on the Defensive Player of the Year, Howard. And there's nothing happening there for the Hawks, but they've got to keep going in there. They've got to get aggressive. They've got to stay going to the paint. They've got to keep attacking, and you got to be happy with the Hawks right now, only being down 8.
Orlando, 8 turnovers. No points off of turnovers for Atlanta as we send it over to Cheryl.
Matt, normally on this team, you are known for setting the tone defensively, but talk about your offense. You're very aggressive very early on.
You know, it's just the fact that I got to make him respect me. You know, I can score, but my job on this team is to play defense. You know, I'm trying to lock Joe down, slow him down a little bit, but I can also score. So, you know, tonight they left me a couple times when I attacked the basket.
You guys have been extremely effective offensively, 16 assists, but talk about the defensive end. You guys have allowed these guys to hang around. What aren't you doing well?
We're not matching their intensity. These guys are fighting for their lives, and we didn't play well in that second quarter. So we got to pick it up in the for the second half and get the win.
All right, thanks for your time. Coming up after the break, we'll be singing across town to our Atlanta studios for the T-Mobile halftime report with EJ, Kenny, Charles, and C. Webb. Our score here at halftime is the Hawks 45, the Magic 53.
If you look at the Charlotte series, they won every game total by 36 points. You know, we've lost every game total by 84 points. You know, and you would think this is a 1 seed versus 16 seed in the NCAA tournament, you know, but they were the 2 seed and we were the 3 seed, so it's pretty embarrassing.
24 minutes to change that. The Hawks trail 53-45. All right, let's take a look at the Corona stats leaders and those halftime numbers, Kevin.
Great field goal percentage by Orlando. You look, they got to the line. Atlanta did 12 times. You like that. You like the fact that the second chance points, they're taking advantage of the Hawks. And points in the paint, though, still 20-12 in favor of Orlando. But I like the second quarter that at least the Hawks started attacking the rim a little bit more. Started with Josh Smith when he came in after having his eye fixed. And so if they can continue to just attack the paint, be aggressive, and give himself a chance.
All right, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
And Kevin, that's exactly what Coach Woodson told me just minutes ago, is that he loved the way that his team was attacking the basket, really wants to put the onus on the officials to blow the whistle. Now, he said in the second half, they definitely have to clean up defensively, no more layups, and make sure, he said, that's been the difference in the game so far.
Third quarters, Kevin, have been key in this series for the Orlando Magic, averaging better than 31 points. For the Atlanta Hawks, they've been held to just 19.7 on average. You know, Orlando's plus 11 in this quarter.
Third quarter is the championship quarter. You come out after halftime, you make your adjustments, you put the team on the defensive, you get them playing from behind, you take it in the fourth quarter, and you walk away. Orlando understands that the third quarter is the championship quarter.
Yeah, you got that. And you know what? You would know about that, too. Nelson picks up the foul. How many times do you guys come out of halftime and say, all right,
absolutely. Make your adjustments. Everybody knows what's going to happen, and this is when you get your separation. You win a lot of games. You start off the first 5 minutes of that third quarter. You'll see Orlando's going to want to put the hammer down and get these guys out of the way, and think about moving on. Great low post feed to Howard, getting it right at the charge circle. I mean, you just can't get it any deeper than that. And Dwight refuses to miss a shot from the field. Refuses.
He's 4 of 4.
Yeah, he's 26 of 31 for the series. Wow, that's getting it done.
That is wow.
That's getting it done.
And when you're dunking it and getting deep post position, you're going to shoot like that if you're Dwight Howard. Barnes comes away with it. The championship quarter.
There you go. There's the difference. You got a 2-foot jump hook and an 18-foot jump shot. That 2-foot jump hook's going to win out.
Howard backing down. Lewis, sharp pass now, and the 3 from Carter.
Drop it in, swing it out, throw it out, swing, shot in the corner. And like we said, Matt, they really do a great job of setting up and taking a lot of corner threes, which is a high percentage shot in the NBA.
8 of 17 from downtown. And the 7 games leading into tonight for Orlando in the playoffs. 73 of 195 from deep. Bibby gets it back. Played limited minutes in the first half. Smith, and Horford's fouled by Barnes. And Barnes has picked up his second. And you're talking about the numbers. 84%. James Donaldson back in 1986, 78%. An NBA record for a 7-game series. So he's leading the way, is Dwight Howard.
Wow, 78's impressive. 84's all world. Again, another jump shot. And they tried a little isolation play on the weak side again for Marvin Williams. There's no ball movement, and he had nowhere to go against. Dwight has just got that paint on lockdown. If you're the Hawks, nice little spin move, throws it out, and throws it to Coach Woodson, and Coach Woodson wasn't ready.
Back in the day, he was, though.
Yeah, I played against Coach Woodson 4 years. We're the exact same age. We played, he was at the University of Indiana, I was at Minnesota, and we battled for 4 straight years. Played together on the Pan Am team. 1979, exactly. Coach Bobby Knight. Great basketball coach, Coach Knight.
In Puerto Rico.
Yes.
58-45. Bibby Gives it to Horford. Here's Smith on the inside. Bibby, jumper, good. Where's Mike Bibby been in this series?
Just such a tough matchup for him on the defensive end, guarding this guy here, Jameer Nelson. So he's having such a hard time. It's hard for Coach Woodson to stay with him.
Lewis on an up fake. Now driving. Count it. And the foul. Rashard Lewis. As Josh Smith picks up his second. And you see the minutes and the points, just 12 combined. And then the assists as well. And it's just a tough matchup for him. And you talked about the tough matchups across the board.
And you just saw a tough matchup out there with Rashard Lewis. Faked the, did a pump fake on the three-pointer. Josh Smith got all on his toes. And all of a sudden, Rashard Lewis drives in and gets the end one and on a three-point play the old-fashioned way. But, when you shoot the ball that well from the outside, any kind of pump fake just lifts the defense, gets them on their toes, and it's a pump fake and drive fest for Orlando.
Game 4 elimination game. Crawford, 19 minutes in the first half, 1 of 8 4-points. Horford, tough angle, had to go high in the air with the fading J. Graces the front of the rim. Nelson to Carter, cranks up the three, bucket. 64-47. Orlando on 11-2 run. And this is their biggest lead. And what is this quarter?
This is the championship quarter right here. You got that pass, Jameer throwing it back. You got Vince Carter rising up, knocking down the jump shot, knowing you get your separation in the third quarter so you can take it on home.
It's time for Taste Greatness presented by Miller Lite. Rajon Rondo yesterday, 29 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists. One of the greatest playoff performances by a Boston Celtic.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, he was making beautiful passes, beautiful plays. He had such a great rhythm the entire game. I mean, he knew he was coming. LeBron was coming in for that come from behind, block the shot, and look what he's doing in the playoffs so far. Assists, over 11 assists a game. And I'll tell you what, that was reminiscent of those numbers. Yeah. Larry Bird, John Hondo Havlicek. I mean, you're talking Celtic greats, all-time greats, legends, Hall of Famers, and he put up those type of numbers.
A lot of people have said, one of the best playoff performances by a Boston Celtic, but sitting here with the Celtic great, would you say that about that performance yesterday?
Yeah, I watched the entire game. It was a great performance. The numbers are spectacular, and I'm biased. I saw Larry do things that were unreal. So I'm putting Bird Dog ahead of some of those performances. I tell you what, he did. Yeah, old Birdie, that guy was one basketball playing young man.
Yes. Well, Rondo's numbers, they put him in playoff company with Wilt Chamberlain and the Big O, Oscar Robertson, on that 29, 18, and 13. What a performance in that series, now tied up at 2. 64-47. Carter gives it to Nelson, up fake. Howard backing down. Extra pass in the corner. Shot clock down. Barnes attacking. Denied there. Will that pump a little bit of life into Atlanta? They need it right now. And a foul on the floor, and that's the third on Lewis.
Matt Barnes tried to stick it on him. Listen to this.
Josh Smith getting the block.
Summit meeting. Josh Smith at the top. Denied.
We talked about Josh Smith and that matchup against Lewis, and he just hasn't spent much time underneath the rim and around the basket. One of the reasons why only one block coming into this game 4 in the series. Gets one there.
Yeah, great shot blocker Josh Smith is, but you can't block shots like we said in the first half, Matt, when you're standing on the three-point line worrying about a guy who's making everything, and Rashard Lewis.
Joe Johnson driving, denied by Howard. Howard alters the shot there.
Great call. Not only a block, but he altered. They're not even hitting the rim from 2 feet with him in there.
And deep post position there. On a sharp pass by Nelson and a foul on Horford.
Going in there, what a great block. You know, all of a sudden, Josh Smith is looking for him, throws it over the basket, and he's out sprinting in the paint, getting all the way down, getting in low post position, and getting fouled. And the Howard wall is built around that basket on the Orlando defense.
3 blocks, but he's changed so many others and intimidated a lot of guys from coming in the paint.
He's changed 10 or 11 shots tonight. You know, forget about the blocks. It's the amount he alters, which is, he alters every shot in the paint so far tonight.
Nelson, the 3, doesn't go. Smith now into the front court. Josh Smith, crossover. Goes with the offhand. Dwight Howard just takes it away. Smith wants a call, still talking to Derek Stafford about it. Meanwhile, the other way, 5-on-4, Howard has it stripped away. Joe Johnson ahead to Josh Smith. And that time the lingering pays off.
Yeah, you hate to see that, though. You know, Josh Smith went in there, he wanted the call, he didn't run back. But Howard is just, like I said, people are looking for him in the paint. When you're talking about altered shots, you're looking for him as you see a little foul here, a little bump going on. And he's just all over it. And you're going to see again right there. I mean, he's trying to grab him now. He's not even blocking him anymore. He's just going up and, you know, awful tough. I mean, that's right at the apex, and it's still probably on the way up. And he is, I mean, look at Howard's numbers tonight. I mean, like I said,
defensive standpoint.
Out of 18 shots, he's altered or blocked 15 of them, and that's amazing. Again, an altered shot is when you're sitting here courtside, you're watching at home, you can see that the players are looking for him. You know, Matt, they're driving in, they're looking for him, and I mean, the guy has just been. Well, that's why he's the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, a performance like tonight, it's really fun to watch, sitting here and enjoying the defensive end of basketball as much as I do. Watching him just cover up that paint and do what he's doing is really fun to watch.
Evans had picked up the foul. Nelson was 1 of 2 from the line. Josh Smith, no. Tapped up. And a whistle and a foul. And a foul, Vince Carter. Carter picks up the foul. That's going to be his second. 65-49. National coverage of the NBA playoffs continues. ESPN Thursday, 7:30 Eastern. Cavs at the Celtics, Game 6, and then Boston at Cleveland on Sunday, ABC. Game 7 if necessary in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1.
Now, if you're Orlando and you're sitting here, you know that the Celtics-Cavs series tied up at 2-2. Nothing better than winning your series and sitting back and watching two teams just slug it out and fight it out. And you're getting a good rhythm on each team. You're watching every game. You're resting. And Stan really practices Orlando very, very hard. So they're ready to play. And I just think it's a huge advantage to end your series as quickly as you can and then watch the other team play and just enjoy your days off.
Had 2 days off after sweeping Charlotte. And could handle it the same way if the Magic come away with a victory. Tonight they had a long film session yesterday, but, you know, ironically last season it was Cleveland that motored right through the first 2 rounds, sweeping both opponents, as well as the Atlanta Hawks. Detroit first and then Atlanta in the second round, and eventually lost to the Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, it's all about matchups. I mean, you can go. You see right now the field goals this quarter. The Magic are 4 for 7. The Hawks only 2 for 11. And of those 11 shots, I'd say Howard's either blocked or altered about 7 or 8 of those.
Shot clock down, and Ryan Anderson, that 3 doesn't go. Shot clock violation, 15-point advantage. And you look at Dwight Howard, his numbers tonight are tame offensively, 11 points and 3 rebounds. It's what he's doing at the other end that has just wreaked havoc for Atlanta. Crawford, hard hedge by Anderson. Crawford on the move, gets the roll. Howard too with just 1 foul, Kevin.
That's the key stat. He's not been getting in foul trouble. He's altering shots and blocking shots without picking up fouls. Up, you got an offensive foul right there. Left hand, the wipe away on the left hand. As soon as you're talking good about Dwight, he picked up a foul for us. So That's the way it goes, but he's been great. He hasn't been picking up these type fouls. That was just a little wipe away he had down there, but he was picking those up in the Charlotte series, man. We had talked about it. He had, in the 4 games, he had 8, 9, 10 of those type fouls, those offensive fouls that you don't need to take.
Fouled out of the final 2 games, had 22 fouls in that first round, averaged just 26.5 minutes, and a foul there. And Matt Barnes, here's Stan Van Gundy in the huddle.
We got to win the effort game. We've got to defend and rebound. We've got to take care of the ball. You're going to have to fight for this one if you want it. Let's go. How bad you want this one? Let's go.
How bad do you want it? Barnes with the foul. That's his 3rd. Crawford at the free throw line and talking to Stan Van Gundy, obviously just so consumed right now with this game 4. Trying to get the sweep. Vince Carter saying we want to dominate. We want to take the life out of everybody we play against. As he battles to try to get to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in his career. With 5:02 remaining in the 3rd. And a foul on Evans, his 2nd, and Carter's going to head to the free throw line. Log on to NBA.com now for the most extensive playoff coverage and in-depth highlights of tonight's Magic at Hawks matchup, as well as up-to-date scores, stats, and schedules from the playoffs.
Right now, Orlando's in the penalty from this point on. 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Every touch foul is 2 free throws, and so if you're, Stan Van Gundy talked to his team about, you got to go fight. How badly do you want this? Well, you show how badly you want it right now by driving, attacking, posting up hard, getting fouls, and getting to that free throw line for the last 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter.
The eye still bothering Josh Smith. He was knocked in the right eye going back to that first quarter. 66-53, Magic. Crawford sends it to Evans. Evans launches the 3, and he makes it. 10-point game. Lead was 17. 7-1 run by the Hawks. Anderson puts it on the deck. Loses the handle. 12 turnovers for the Magic. Crawford crossover. Finds Evans. Up fake. Barnes flies by. Steps into the 2, and it doesn't go. Missed opportunity. And at the other end, Johnson commits a foul, and Jameer's going to the line.
Great recognition by Jameer, understanding that they're in the penalty. He's looking out ahead of them. The Hawks were a little bit late getting back. Burst of speed going right hand, getting a foul, 25, 30 feet from the hoop, 2 free throws.
The Phoenix Suns, they swept San Antonio last night. Lakers an opportunity tonight against Utah, and of course the Magic with that opportunity here in that other series. Celtics and Cavs knotted up at 2 games apiece.
Game 5 is going to be great TV. Everybody watch it. If you're in Cleveland, go to the game and cheer. It's going to be a fun game. You're going to see 2 teams. That game 5 is huge. You want to get that 3-2 lead in that series, and both teams are going to lay it on the line.
Pachulia underneath. Pachulia goes up, shot no. Howard, and here's Carter.
Wow, another layup overlaid, missed the rim because of the presence of Dwight Howard.
Nelson spinning. Anderson launches the 3. Got it, and a technical foul. Technical foul. Matt Barnes and Zaza Pachulia getting tangled up. And Dwight Howard over there as well. And Dwight Howard walking away with some words. The technical foul's on Dwight Howard. Vince Carter, Matt Barnes. Stan Van Gundy all there trying to reel in the emotions of Dwight Howard. Joe Johnson, good from the free throw line.
Boy, that wasn't much of I did not see anything there that would bring up a technical foul. Maybe I missed it, but and here's another look. Let's see, Pachulia and he are kind of wrestling around in there. The ball gets shot by Anderson.
Let's go, Hawks!
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. He must have said something because he surely didn't do enough by actions there to get a technical foul.
The Anderson three is good. His first made field goal. 10 of 21 now. Orlando from deep. Count the bucket. Goaltending. Joe Johnson taking it to the hole. He's got a dozen. 10-point game. Can Atlanta get a key stop here? Carter working with Howard. Carter on the drive, draws contact. Pachulia just picking up his second.
And this is Pachulia. He gets the ball. He's looking around for Dwight Howard. He doesn't. Should I shoot? Should I shoot? I'll just throw it over the basket. I mean, he was looking for him, and he had a layup, and you could just see his eyes were saying, you know, where's Dwight Howard? And on the other end, you look at a guy like Vince Carter. He puts his head down, takes it right into Pachulia's chest, and says, I'm going to make you foul me. And that's how you get to the line. And again, I like the fact that Orlando's knowing the clock, knowing the foul situation, knowing how to play. You got to think the game out here. If you're going to win a championship, Matt, you got to be able to think the game. You just can't go out and play the game. You got to know all situations. Who's in the penalty, how many fouls the guy's got that's guarding you, and all those situations. You got to think it through.
Carter with 9 of his 17 here in the quarter. Joe Johnson, crossover, fires over Barnes, shot no. On the weak side, Nelson brings it into the front court. 71-59. Barnes, the three, doesn't go. Carter tries to keep it alive at a loose ball foul, and he comes down hard. And he gets up, trying to walk it off. Timeout on the floor, and Carter's headed back toward the bench. Magic up in game 4. Closed it out against San Antonio last night. Can Orlando take care of business here tonight? And then the Lakers with that opportunity to advance later on, second game of our doubleheader here on TNT. But what a performance yesterday by Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns, Jared Dudley. And they were sensational.
The one-eyed wonder went out there and got it done. I tell you what, he's got a lot of heart, Steve Nash. He's playing so well. At his age, it's hard to believe that he's been able to go out there and maintain his quickness and have the effect he has on the game. The Nash effect is everybody's better when you play with the Steve Nash. It's a great effect, and the team has a lot of confidence because he's finding open shots for different players and just got such a beautiful feel for the game.
And Alvin Gentry's done a great job too, because they found that blend from a defensive standpoint.
Absolutely agreed. They can win games now by playing defense where in the past they couldn't.
And the Hawks try to finish this third quarter strong. Crawford to Horford. Horford, altered, shot once again. Nelson now into the front court. 72-59, Orlando. Anderson, the three, doesn't fall this time. 10 of 23 from deep. Joe Johnson out of the wing. Pachulia wants it. Evans now back up top. Johnson quickly to Crawford. Shot clock down to 4. Crawford over Nelson and a foul on Jameer Nelson.
They're really trying to get Horford the ball down low, but you know Anderson's fronting him, and they're really making it hard. to get the ball down into Al Horford being guarded by Anderson. And so good defense by Orlando, and you know, the Hawks are trying to get it punched inside, and you got a foul here on a jump shot, and Crawford gets 2 free throws.
Nelson picks up his second. Crawford at the free throw line. There have been some great guard play in this postseason. Nelson, big numbers. Nash at the age of 36 continues to do it. How about Darren Williams? He missed that shot the other night in the putback for the Jazz, but still huge numbers. And Rajon Rondo with just a spectacular effort in Game 4, tying up that series.
Any one of those 4-point guards, any one of those 4-point guards, boy, you're feeling pretty good if you're the coach. Coaching those guys. You got some guys on the floor that are really gonna help you. Speaking of one of those guys on the floor, Jameer Nelson, great drive by Carter, throwing it out there. Again, we talked about it all game long. They create the corner 3 steady, high percentage shot, and Jameer Nelson knocking it down.
7 of 10 from the field is Jameer Nelson. Crawford, under a minute remaining in the third, rises up, and a foul is called on Nelson. That's going to be his third, as Crawford was trying to create some contact there. And Stan Van Gundy with the response. Crawford's going to head to the line, and he's going to shoot 3. And this is third time this quarter that he got fouled on jump shots. And you know, the golden rule is get a hand up, but don't foul jump shooters. And Stan's a little frustrated. He was talking about, I see he went up to Matt Barnes earlier and said, do not get it, you know, don't foul him, just get a hand up. And he's done it 3 times so far. Crawford's got the line on jump shots, getting fouled on jump shots. And Stan Van Gundy just saying that to Jameer Nelson. In this 12-point game, Crawford 2 of 9, but he is 7 of 8 from the free throw line, and he has 11 points. Crawford over the last 2 games averaging 22.5 points since a 5-point performance in game 1. He has scored 22 or more in 4 of the last 5 playoff games. 11 points once again. Carter. Anderson. Up fake. Carter gives it up. Barnes. Long rebound, Josh Smith. Joe Johnson, the 3. No. Tapped up. Loose ball. Anderson in the Magic. Turnover. Hawk basketball with 17.7 seconds remaining in the third.
Well, right now, get a hoop here, Hawks. Get it under 10 going into the fourth quarter. See if you can't get a little momentum going into that the final quarter here of this game.
Magic have turned it over 6 times here in the quarter. The Hawks just won. Crawford on the drive over Howard. Nelson eyeing it. No. 75-66. Crawford with 10 of his 14 here in the third quarter as he sizes up Dwight Howard at the end.
He sure did. Saw him coming in, got a little extra arch on that ball, lofted it up over Dwight Howard, and got the Atlanta Hawks within 9, and that's where you want to be. You want to be single digits going into the fourth quarter, and we'll see what the Hawks are made of in these next 12 minutes.
All right, welcome back to Atlanta. The Hawks are down by 9 points. It's time for the Coach's Corner, presented by Verizon Wireless and Coach Woodson. 12 minutes away from elimination. What do you need to see in this last quarter?
We need defense. You know, our offense has been sputtering, but we finally found a little bit of it that quarter. But we got to still defend, man. Right now we're giving up too many easy buckets, you know, at the rim. We got to force them to have to make jump shots, and we do that, we'll put ourselves in position.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
The fourth quarter for Joe Johnson, Jamal Crawford, and the Atlanta Hawks. It comes down to this: if they want to extend this second round series with Orlando, down 9, 75-66. Game 4. Williams with Howard, Lewis, Carter, and Petrus. Carter, entry pass, and a foul's going to be charged to Pachulia. And that's going to be his third. Orlando, over the last 9 minutes of that third quarter, they made just 3 field goals, all of them 3-pointers. And then you factor in the turnovers and the foul shots, and it's a 9-point game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one beef that Stan may have tonight with his team is too many turnovers.
14. Atlanta hasn't taken advantage of it. Just 7 off of the 14. Petrus and a foul. And a foul is going to be charged to Pachulia for grabbing on to Dwight Howard, and Bennett Salvatore showing Zaza Pachulia exactly what he did.
Boy, Bennett grabbed a big piece of his shorts there, was pulling him pretty hard there. Bennett really showed him what the guy did there.
This is what you did.
He said,
no question about it.
You grabbed him right by the shorts and you pulled like this. I like that. Hey, baby Bennett.
The third on Zaza. Shot clock at 24. A fresh one. Carter gives it to Lewis. Up fake. Entry pass. Denied. Howard gets it back. Lewis. The three. What a three. Smith goes down to help.
Exactly. Josh Smith turns his back. Lewis repositions. Easy throw out for Howard. You cannot leave a shooter like Rashard Lewis, turn your back on him. If you're Josh Smith, you've got to keep eye contact with him.
12 of 27 from 3. Petrus pulls it out. Lewis with a dozen on 4-5 shooting. Carter gets it back. Long 2, count it. Vince Carter, 20 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Carter, for the 3rd time in this series, has 20 or more points. 80-66. The threes keep raining in for the Orlando Magic here in Game 4 against Atlanta. One of the key things that Orlando has done defensively throughout this series is take away fast break opportunities. And a
moving
foul.
pick on Pachulia there, yeah.
And that's going to be his 5th. And tonight for the Hawks, they have just 4 fast break points. Magic turned it over 14 times, but just 7 points off of those turnovers. And this is one of the best fast-breaking teams in the NBA, at least during the regular season.
No, I agree. The turnovers that Orlando's had has been some offensive fouls, 3 seconds, where they haven't had a chance to run out. But yet, that's where Atlanta makes their hay, is when they get turnovers, they get out, they get in the open court. They're a good fast-breaking team, as you see. Vince Carter missed a 3 there, but they haven't been able to do that this entire series, Matt. Orlando's just had them kind of on lockdown, and they have too much of this where they're just going against a set Orlando defense, and that Orlando defense is awful tough.
Crawford, 3 of 10, but getting to the line. He's not 8 of 9 there. Fading, jumper doesn't go, and now 3 of 11.
No one else touched the ball in that possession. Jamal dribbled, and ended up with a tough shot, but got to get some ball movement if you're Atlanta. Get that ball going from side to side.
Carter dumps it in. Williams dumps it into Carter. Carter backing down, goes to the left. Orlando opens up the quarter on a 7-0 run.
Mo went down trying to draw an offensive foul, and Vince just laid it up, got an easy shot with the left hand.
Starting backcourt for Orlando, 14 of 22 in the game. Mo Evans can't get it to fall. Carter clears it to Williams. 14 of 22. Carter and Nelson. Now Howard, 11 points, 4 rebounds, but we've talked about what he's done defensively. Petrus sets up Howard down low. Howard with the dunk. Timeout taken by Atlanta. Just too much to handle. And Dwight's mother appreciates it. Howard and the Magic looking for the sweep. 84-66.
You get the mismatch. You got Mo down there, Evans too small. He tried to grab him. He actually fouled him, and it didn't make any difference. And here you got Vince Carter taking Mo Evans to the rack. left-hand layup.
9-0 run by the Magic, their largest lead. Here to open up the fourth quarter. Game 4 as they look for back-to-back sweeps for the first time in the franchise history. Josh Smith, and he is fouled. He'll head to the free throw line. And Lewis picks up the foul. And that's going to be his fourth. 84-66. Coming up next, of course, second game of our doubleheader. The Lakers taking on Utah. Lakers playing for the sweep. And those 3 games won by a total of 14 points. Mo Evans checks out. Marvin Williams comes in just 1 of 5. Marvin Williams 2 points, no rebounds.
Marvin had a rough series. He got nothing going against this Orlando Magic team, and he was one of those guys that they needed. They needed him to step up, and he just wasn't able to. And you can say the same thing for Bibby, and Joe Johnson struggled the entire series shooting. And boy, the Hawks just ran into a buzzsaw here with the Orlando Magic.
Orlando playing at a different level. They are on a mission. Lewis, jumper doesn't go. Howard tries to control it, can't. Marvin Williams last year in the first round averaged just 7 points in the postseason. Second round, 3 points against Cleveland. Joe Johnson, a teardrop in the lane.
Great job by
points.
Joe. Great job. Sorry, man, but great job by Joe. But who was there? He had to shoot that over Dwight Howard. When you take your 4th or 5th dribble on one move, you know Dwight's coming over. It's just going to be a contested shot.
Carter, crossover, fading, shot doesn't go, and a foul. As Howard is fouled as he was going for the rebound. And let's go across town to Ernie Johnson. EJ?
Yeah, Matt, just a friendly reminder that Game 2 of our doubleheader will feature Carlos Boozer and the Utah Jazz trying to stay alive at home in Salt Lake City against the Lakers. There is Lamar Odom, LA, with a 3-0 lead, trying to close out Utah and advance to meet Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals. Back to you.
We certainly look forward to that one. Foul was on Josh Smith. Shot clock down. Jason Williams. Jason Williams lights it up from deep.
That's their 13th 3 tonight, Matt. And when Orlando makes 10 or more threes, they win 80% of their games. That's and they make 10 or more quite often. They are a team that shoots a lot of threes, and they really make them. And that 3-point line ended up being the difference in this series. Well, the defense of Orlando and Howard's presence in the paint. But the differential from that 3-point line for these 4 games is going to be astronomical in favor of Orlando Magic.
Well, in this series, Atlanta has made a total of 15. And coming into tonight's game, Orlando 28, and then of course you add on the 13 from tonight.
Yep.
And we've talked about it. They just love pouring in the 3-pointers. They made an NBA record 841. I was talking to Jason Williams, and he has a good reference point. Of course, he won a title with Pat Riley of the Miami Heat, and then played for Hubie Brown in Memphis, a team that won 50 games. Lewis cranks up another 3. 14 of 30 now from deep. And I talked to Jason Williams about the camaraderie that this team has. One of the things that Stan Van Gundy talked about was the fact that this is a group that they trust each other and they enjoy playing with each other, as Horford posted up. And he said, you know what, Miami, he said that team, they were together throughout the entire season in a close group. He said this one actually may be a little bit tighter group. He said, we enjoy playing with each other, but then even off of the court, he said there's just a special bond with this group, and you can kind of see it from the reaction of the bench, from the guys out on the floor.
Look at Dwight tonight. 20 of the 30 shots he's contested in the paint tonight. That's unreal. His influence on that defensive end is unbelievable to watch in person. Just great defense by Dwight.
Marines teamwork play of the game, and folks, it's more than just one, because these guys are a true team. They share the basketball. Extra passes deep in the corner. Petrus with the three. That swing passes you have talked about. 26 assists in this contest on 33 made field goals.
This is talk about team, excuse me, Matt, but you talk about team as you got another swing pass, and Lewis lines up a three, and great contested by Al Horford. But the thing I like to see is that the players on the Orlando bench genuinely enjoy other people's success. And that's when you are a team, when you really, in your heart, enjoy when your teammates do well. And they do. Guys are making threes, they're jumping up. They really enjoy each other and wish for each other to have success. And that's what championship caliber teams do. They don't care. They know that, you know, look at Dwight out there pressing up on Joe Johnson and just makes him shoot an air ball. Well, let's see, he's challenged every shot in the paint. Now he's challenging three-pointers. Wow, putting in a full day's work on that defensive end is Dwight Howard.
Last time Orlando lost was in San Antonio on April 2nd. They've won 13 straight games. The point differential over the 13 games, plus 17.
Oh, wow.
And since the All-Star break, 30 and 50. And a whistle and a foul on the inside. An offensive foul. That's going to be the fourth on Dwight Howard. Acquisitive look there from Dwight Howard. 90-71 with a 5:05 to go, and it hasn't been close this series. Crawford looking to turn the corner. Gets in the lane with a runner and a foul there. And a foul on the floor. It's going to be a foul. Jason Williams, and Crawford's going to head to the free throw line. You look at the last time 3 of 4 semifinal series ended in sweeps, and of course you look at Orlando if they hold on here, and then Lakers in Utah. But New York beat Atlanta, Indiana over Philadelphia, and San Antonio against the Lakers back in 1999. The only time since 1967 where they adopted this format.
Yeah, well, that just doesn't happen very often. I mean, you know, to go out there and beat a good basketball team, which the Atlanta Hawks are. Atlanta Hawks were 34-7 on this home court right here. You think you're at least going to get one. You know, you assume you may get two, but you think you're going to at least get one. But again, you know, Orlando is really in tune right now, and they are feeling it and playing well together.
The Hawks only lost consecutive games at home one time this season. Williams at three, puts it away.
For the 4 games right now, Orlando Magic are plus 84 points from the three-point line, Matt. Plus 84 points.
15 of 32 from downtown as Crawford goes to the rim. Crawford now with 16.
Wow, I just can't get over that. Plus 84 from beyond the arc, a positive for the Orlando Magic. That's just an unreal number in 4 games.
Here's Petrus. That one doesn't fall, and Josh Smith looks ahead to Crawford. Crawford has it denied by Lewis. It'll be Hawk basketball with 3:51 remaining. The Magic, they right now are in tune with that three-point line. 15 of 33. Joe Johnson checking out with the boos ringing out after his comments.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less if they showed up or not, speaking about the fans. And of course, he kind of came back and said, look, it is out of frustration. And what will the future hold for Joe Johnson? All-NBA player and an all-star. 5 seasons in Atlanta. Part of that free agent class. Lewis, no. Howard battling for the rebound, and he gets fouled. And 3:22 to go. A lot of decisions coming up for this Atlanta Hawk franchise. Kevin, you have Joe Johnson. This is a team that went to the second round last season, as well as this season, swept last season, on the verge of getting swept here. And there's so much speculation even about the future of Mike Woodson, worked in the final year of his contract.
Yeah, a lot of questions. I agree. I mean, Joe Johnson is going to be a very sought-after free agent. I mean, Mike Woodson's done a nice job with this team. They've improved every one of the last 5 years, and Woody's pushed them hard and trying to get the most out of them. And you see a series like this, and you just run into a really, really hot team. And I think that's Dwight misses 2 free throws there. You run into a really, really hot team, and what it does, it brings out a lot of your faults, And in this team, there's just not enough, ball handling, not enough movement of the ball and stuff. A little too much one-on-one. But again, they had a very, very successful year this year. Just absolutely ran into just a buzzsaw in the Orlando Magic.
Atlanta as the 3rd seed. Orlando the 2nd seed. Under 3 minutes remaining. Lewis off the dribble. Rashard Lewis takes it right to the hole.
Can't say enough about how well he's played, Rashard Lewis, in this series. And, actually, in both series, the Charlotte series and this series, putting the ball on the floor, attacking the rim, making threes, just really, really in tune and playing very well.
Josh Smith. Lewis was 17, 8 in the quarter. The general manager of the Orlando Magic, one of the things that he said, Otis Smith, heading into this season, one of the reasons why he felt he needed to change Vince Carter, Hito Turkoglu out, he said, you can't stand still in this league. If you do, you'll be going backward. And they are not going backwards, folks. Petrus, Air France, another 3. 16 made threes.
Oh, wow. I mean, time to take Dwight Howard out of the game. Got to call off the Dogs. Another rebound by Dwight. And just get in the reserves here a little bit and enjoy it. And again, like I said, I get timeout by Orlando to make some substitutions to try to slow the clock down and get Gortat in for Howard.
All Orlando.
Ernie Johnson, Studio J in Atlanta. In a little over 15 minutes, we'll be taken to Salt Lake City for Game 4 between the Lakers and the Jazz. In his last 4 playoff games, Kobe has scored 32, 31, 30, and 35. And the Lakers trying to close out the Jazz in our TNT nightcap. Now let's get back to what they call the highlight factory.
Ernie, all the highlights belong to Orlando. 98-77 with 150 left in this Game 4. And the Magic will sweep the Atlanta Hawks. They swept Charlotte, and now they're going to sit back and they'll wait for the outcome of Cleveland-Boston. And a turnover, and Crawford lays it up and through. The most three-pointers made by Orlando in the postseason, 17 against Cleveland, May 26, 2009. Anderson's shot doesn't go. They've made 16 here tonight. The most ever in a playoff is 20 by Seattle. That's the NBA record. Count it. And Randolph Morris will head to the free throw line. And so now you look ahead, Cleveland, Boston against the Orlando Magic.
Orlando's not changing anything they're doing. They're going to go out there. They're going to run pick and roll. They're going to get Howard to the front of the rim. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. They're going to load up on the defensive end. They're going to be a tough out. I look at it and I think that the one thing that both teams have, though, they have people that will attack Howard more. You put LeBron James with a little bit of head of steam. He's coming in on Howard, and he can finish over the top of him. Rondo's very clever in there, and it'll be a great series no matter who Orlando plays. But right now, the way Orlando's playing, they have so much confidence, playing so well together, and playing so well on the defensive end. They match up great, Matt, against either team, against either Cleveland or Boston. But each team that they potentially could play is going to bring some different aspects to the game. They're both good defensive teams, the Boston and Cleveland, and that LeBron factor is Hard to put a figure on that, what that guy's capable of doing.
Game 5 tomorrow night on TNT. Orlando during the regular season 2-2 against Cleveland, 3-1 against Boston. 98-82, another blowout by Orlando. Defensively, they have just been spectacular during the playoffs. No one's even been close to what they've done defensively. Boston's the closest, and that's plus 10. You know, so the Magic just getting it done. Pachulia at the free throw line.
Yeah, the Magic's not only stepped up their offense, they've really stepped up their defense. They're doing a great job on the defensive end, and just not allowing teams to get away from them, not allowing teams to score many points against them.
This will go down as the most lopsided series in NBA history with the margin of victory. 98-84. Orlando with the sweep. They move on to the Eastern Conference Finals in consecutive years. The Magic take care of the Atlanta Hawks. Our producer Mike Burks, director Rich Russo, associate director Jeff Randolph, associate producer Alvin Whitney, graphic coordinators Donzel Floyd, Darren Foster, statistician Paul Evans, of course Hall of Famers Cheryl Miller and Kevin McHale. 98-84, and for the first time ever, Vince Carter will move on to the conference finals. Kevin?
In the closing game, Vince played very, very well for Orlando, as did many Orlando Magic players. They played well all series, and they played well. They had a tough series against Charlotte, but they played so good defensively against Charlotte. They come into this series, and they find their offense, but their defense doesn't take one step back. And again, like I said, whoever's going to play these guys in the conference finals have their hands full.
Orlando outscored Atlanta by a total of 101 points.
In 4 games.
In 4 games, as we send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Well, Dwight, say congratulations to Jamal Crawford, but just coming into the series, a lot of people were wondering, was rust or rest going to be an issue? Talk about complete domination. You guys were clicking on all cylinders.
Well, you know, we just been working hard every day in practice to get better. And we just got to continue to do that, you know, if we want to win the championship. And I just like the way this team is just out here playing hard as we can and staying humble at the same time.
Jay Will was saying this is such a close-knit team on and off the court. Talk about your chemistry.
Well, you know, we do everything together. And I think that's what helps us on the court. You know, we talk a lot. You know, we spend a lot of time together, and we just talk about life. And then when we get on the court, we're able to, you know, take what we do off the court and put it on the court.
Your next opponent obviously will be the winner between Cleveland or Boston. Just describe both these teams and the problems they may present.
Both of those teams are great. You know, you got the 3 Hall of Famers on one team, and then you got LeBron James, Shaq, and the rest of the crew, you know, on the other team. So, you know, it's going to be tough, but, you know, we're going to keep working, and we're going to stay humble.
All right, thanks for your time. Matt, let's send it back to you.
I appreciate it, Cheryl. Dwight Howard and the Magic move on once again to the Eastern Conference Finals. Our final score, 98-84. Coming up next, it's Game 4, Lakers and Jazz. For Kevin and McHale, Cheryl Miller, and the rest of the crew, I'm Matt Devlin saying good night from Atlanta. You've been watching the NBA on TNT, exclusive home of the 2010 Western Conference Finals. After a quick break, we'll send it to Ernie Johnson and the guys in the studio right after this. It was all Orlando, and Dwight's mom knew it.